with Potomac Beads. Join me in making these Vermeer earrings a beautiful classic pearl look. If you need any of the materials, check out the links below to shop with us online. Gather up your freshwater pearls, some crystals and seed beads, and let's get started. So to begin our earring, I have a size 12 English beading needle and some white wildfire beading thread. I've put a stop bead at the end of the thread, which will eventually come off the project, making sure that it's a color that I definitely am not using in these Vermeer earrings. So I have my navette here, which is a 5x17, and I'm going to take my needle and thread through the navette, but in order to kind of hide that bead to the back, I'm going to go through the navette from the interior and go towards the exterior. Now I'm using freshwater pearls for these earrings. I'm using grade A round, which are going to be not totally round, but a really nice grade. And I'm using the ones that are 3 to 4 millimeter, and then I have one larger one for the base that is going to be 6 to 7 millimeter. If you want to do this with check pearls, you can definitely do that as well too. And what I'm going to do is pick up 1/15-0, one pearl, 1/15, one pearl, 1/15, and one pearl. If you see one pearl that's like a little bit off and not exactly the shape that you want to, just discard that one and use it for a different project. I'm going to end with a 15-0 seed bead, so I have 3 of my pearls with 15-0s on either side, and we're going to sew from the bottom hole to the top hole of the navette from one side to the other. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. It's 1/15, one of my pearls. And many people don't use pearls, freshwater pearls, in tutorials or in their designing when they're writing instruction because there is a size variance. Slight size variance on these is not going to matter a ton. Once you have those on, we're going to go back through and come through the top hole to the other side. Once you're out through to the other side, you want to make sure that you're not coming out any seed beads, you're coming directly out after the navette. I want you to add one more pearl in that same size. You're going to add a 15-0, a pearl, and a 15-0. And then we're sewing through the navette at the top. So we're doing the exact same thing, but this time you're making sure that one single 15 pearl 15 stay to the top of the piece. So they're going to look like it's kind of nestled right in there. You're doing the same thing on the other side as well. 15 pearl 15 and sewing from the upper hole or the bottom hole to the upper hole of the navette and straight out. Making sure again when you come straight out that you are not connecting to any of the 15s that are already there. That gets the side of our design created, and if you would want to do something where you have a bracelet to match, this is a really great example and a really great idea for that. Now what we're going to do is coming out the top here, we're going to do the same thing along the top and the bottom. We'll do the bottom first. So coming out the bottom, what I want you to do is I want you to add 1/15-0 followed by 1 and 2 of your smaller pearls, another 15-0, and one of your larger pearls. Here again, 15-0, 2 pearls in a row, 1 and 2, and then one more 15-0. And sew from that bottom hole to the same hole along the base and the bottom of the project. And that gets those beads kind of hanging out right there along the bottom. Just like we did at the side here, we're going to do the same thing to the bottom, going through again. And this time we're going to do 1/11-0 followed by 3 pearls in a row. So again, a couple more pearls on here. 15-0. I keep saying 11. 1/15-0 followed by 3 pearls with no 15s in between, followed by 1/15. Again, just like we did here, we're going to the other side of the bottom hole, same hole of the navette. Coming through out the right side, we're going into the left. And as we pull those pearls, you want to make sure that they set right on top of the other pearls. So just like we did here on the side where we made sure that single pearl sat on top, we're making sure those 3 pearls also sit on top. From here, I want to come through and decorate a little bit with my seed beads. It's going to basically sturdy it up and then we'll add the seed beads at the top. Coming out the navette, I want you to go through the first 15 of that set of 3 seed beads that we just added. So just through just the 15, give a nice tight pull. Coming through there, we're going to add 3 of our 15s. And then the bottom, remember we added 2 of our pearls right next to one another and then our bigger rounded pearl. I want to go through the second pearl. So I have my 3 15s on my needle and I'm going to go through the second pearl. That's going to connect the 2. Coming out of that second pearl, I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 more of my 15 O's, and I'm going to sew through the pearl that sits in the middle, that smaller pearl at the top. Coming out that pearl, 3 more go on. And I'm going to skip over to the pearl that's to the right, or to the left rather, of that middle pearl. So basically we're zigzagging through and coming through the exact same beads. Coming out that pearl then, 3 more 15s go on. And we're going to sew into the 15 right there along the top. So it is the exact opposite of what we did on the side to start. So there you have that nice look of the connection there of those pearls at the bottom. Nice little pretty netted look. From here, I'm going to sew through the navette. So I'm coming out through the other side, not through any of my seed beads. That creates that nice little kind of netted bezel at the bottom here to hold those seed beads on. You can see the difference in kind of the green thread versus the white thread and the opaly navette versus the crystal navette here. What I'm going to do now is work my beads along the side and create the top. You're going to want a wire guard and 3 more pearls. Coming out the navette, I want you to go into the first 15 on the grouping of 15 pearl 15. So that one that kind of sits to the top. Go through the 15 as well as the pearl. What I want you to do then is add 2 of your 15 O seed beads. Sew through that middle pearl on the outer loop of pearls. Add 2 more 15s. And then sew back through the pearl that your thread was coming out of, as well as through the 15. That gets those 2 connected as well. And then you're going to sew through to the opposite side and do the same thing on the opposite side. On the opposite side, you're going through the 15 and the pearl that sit to the top. Add 2 15s. Sew through, whoops, that middle exterior pearl there. And after you sew through that middle exterior pearl, 2 more 15s and back through the pearl again. And that connects those 2 sides as well. Now I'm going to drop down through the 15, back through the navette to the opposite side. And now that the sides are done and the bottom's done, we need to concentrate on the top. So if you want to, you can kind of sneak your needle and thread behind the piece. Sew through that top hole of the navette. So I want my thread and needle now going right through the navette, straight through the back there if you put it over to the other side. So here's what the back looks like. Flipping over, there's the beautiful front. Now at the top, we're going to go very, very simple. We're going to do 3 of our seed beads. So we're doing 1, 2, 3 15s. Then we're going to add 3 more of our pearls. 1. Pearls can be tricky. 2. And if you think these don't have holes, they came off a string, so they'll have holes. Another third. This is why we're using a size 12 needle, since we're going back through. And then 3 more of our 15s. We're going to go back through that same top hole of the navette. So the holes of the navette are getting a lot of strands going through there. Coming out the top then, we're going to go through the 3 15s. Up the side here. Give a nice tight pull so they go right against the top of the piece. You're going to sew through bead number 1 and out of the pearls, I want you to grab 1/15, your wire guard, which I'm using a silver color, and then I'm going down through the other side of the wire guard. Now the wire guard is optional. If you don't have a wire guard, you can make a seed bead loop, that's up to you. I just love how nice and finished, these make great wedding earrings, that this looks. Add a 15 after it, and you're gonna sew down through pearl number 2. Now these earrings are fairly lightweight, so if you want to, you don't have to reinforce the thread, but you can. What I'm gonna do is add just a tiny little bit more to that seed bead look. So I want you to add 1 and 2 and 3 15s. Sew back through bead number 2. Push those seed beads towards the interior of the piece to kind of frame it out. 3 more, go on. 1, 2, 3 15s. And then you're going to sew into the bottom of pearl number 1 and up towards the top. That gives just that nice little kind of seed bead look at the top. From here, go through the 15, go through your wire guard and your loop. And these are very delicate and dainty, named after a famous painter who did The Girl with the Pearl Earring. It's a beautiful portrait. You'll look at it now and be like, oh, I know that one. Go back through the 15 and then down through the pearl and the 15s on the side. So hopefully we're doing Vermeer some good here and making the pearl earrings in his portrait beautiful. Going through here then, I'm going to go through my 15s, go through the navette, and once I'm to the back of the navette there, I'm in between the holes. So I'm exiting the navette in between the holes, slide off that seed bead. That's there for a stopper, if you can. Pull that off, tie the thread ends together, and your beautiful pearl earrings are completed. Once you get one done, you're not going to want to stop. Go ahead and use up the rest of that strand of pearls that you purchased and make a bunch of sets of these earrings with all different color navettes. The only thing you have to do now, other than burning down the thread edge back to the back of the piece and then flush against the project, is to pick your ear wires and attach them on. Thanks so much for joining me in making these Vermeer earrings. Hopefully we did his beautiful painting, The Girl with the Pearl Earrings, some justice as we made this beautiful design. These make great gifts. You can change them up. If you want the wedding look, you can go with that crystal and pearl. You can also change up just the center stone to get such a totally different look by having a little color pop in the middle there. Remember to comment below if you have any questions, if you have any ideas, color suggestions that you're going to change up, or anything in between. You can also give a little thumbs up, and if you haven't already, click that little subscribe button so you don't miss anything from us here at Potomac Beads. As always, thank you so much for joining me in making these Vermeer earrings, and hopefully you had a wonderful time and you get the bug to keep making more and more.